attention seeking, drama queen, trouble causer, and challenging behaviours. Those are just some of the horrible things that so-called mental health professionals say about people diagnosed with a personality disorder. And it's getting worse. If you're new to me, I'm Michelle. I'm a published author, abuse survivor, passionate mental health campaigner, and motivational speaker. I made this video to inspire people and motivate them with motivational videos, but also to educate people about what goes on in the UK mental health shambles of a system. Put hey in the comments. I will say hey back. Where you from? I'd love to get to know my subscribers, and anything I can do like in the next video to answer your questions or help. So yeah, personality disorders. It is the lowest in terms of the mental illness hierarchy, and I think it's horrible that it's like that, but it is. And it's getting worse here in the UK. They've actually got this Serenity Integrated Mentoring. I've put a link to the petition in the description, and it's absolutely abysmal. And what it actually is, a lot of police officers without mental health training have got together to come up with a way to ease pressure off services. And it gives the police powers to arrest people for suicidal behaviours, but they call it challenging behaviours. It stops people from accessing the A&E, ringing the crisis line, ringing an ambulance, ringing the police, attending any walk-in centre, attending hospitals, and it denies people x-rays, such as if you've got a quick heartbeat and you're concerned about your heart, you can be denied that. You can be said, oh, I think it's just in your head, your personality disorder. It's going on. And I found it shockingly bad. We're going backwards in terms of the way we're progressing with mental health. We're going backwards, I run a group on Facebook. I know Facebook isn't for everybody, so this isn't any pressure to join at all. I'm just letting you know, if you are on Facebook, I run a group, and it's called Fighting for Better Mental Health Services in the UK. I do talk about this, and a hell of a lot of people in my group have been through this. And I tell you what's even more quite shocking. Most of the people are women. And I've looked deeper into that as well. It's mainly women that have had a history of sexual abuse or drug behaviours or really abusive backgrounds and domestic abuse or, trauma. Mostly it's up there in the percentage of people we've diagnosed that they've got sexual abuse history. Which makes all of this even nastier and worse. The fact that the people that have been abused, the people that have had such a horrible start in life, are getting treated like criminals. And I'm talking criminals, I'm talking going to court. I'm talking handcuffs, police vans, going to jail. I've had that happen to me. If you're new to me, I'll briefly talk about what I've been through. And if you are not new to me, I'm really sorry. I'm just going to quickly go over it again for the newcomers. At 12, I was locked up and I was put in a mental hospital. I was subjected to a hell of a lot of abuse in all forms. When I was released, I was given very little support. I ended up homeless as well, but I kept asking for help and they kept saying, no, you don't need it, you're going on now. And I was diagnosed with a personality disorder and also PTSD, which I'll do a separate video on, because I know quite a lot of you have asked for that. I've not forgotten. And I was criminalised. I had lies printed about me in the papers. I was given a criminal record because of, I was ringing up asking for help and they were saying, you don't need it. And I was like, I'm suicidal. Doing that to myself. I needed so many stitches, it's unreal. But I was criminalised for that. Why? Why as a society are we doing that? Why as a society are we punishing the people that are vulnerable, punishing women that have had abusive backgrounds? It's a tragedy, and I'm trying to raise the profile with this YouTube channel, and also in everything that I do, you know, the books that I write and the things that I say. I'm just trying to raise the profile of what goes on here, because it ain't a bunch of roses in the UK. It's the truth. It is the truth. What goes on is getting worse, and it's something like if you was to walk up to somebody in the street and say, "Oh, by the way, I know people that get arrested for attempting suicide." You know, people would be like, that doesn't go on," but it does. I mean, I've got about 5 examples in the description. I'm not very good at video editing and stuff like that, so I've put all the links in the description. A woman in Manchester recently, a 19-year-old woman, has been dragged to court so many different times for attempting suicide, and for ringing for help. And she's got personality disorder, and I think she's got something else, and she doesn't have very supportive family, and she's being dragged into the court system. It's shocking. I ask you, please, can you sign the petition if you're allowed to do so, if you're in the right country? Because I don't think you can if you're not in the UK. It would really mean a well to me, but not only me, but for everyone else that is struggling with a personality disorder. I'm going to briefly go back to the professional thing. I don't agree with the term personality disorder, but this isn't a video about that. When I was diagnosed with it, the GP really didn't want to see me. It didn't even matter if it was for mental health. I might ring up to say I've got concerns about my heart, or this happened, I had concerns about my blood pressure. This was years ago, about 5 years ago. I ended up in hospital for 2 days. I wasn't seriously ill, but yeah. And my doctor was like, "Oh, I think you're a bit paranoid. I think it's just in your head. I don't think you've got physical issues." And I ended up collapsing. I ended up going to the hospital, and my heart rate was really high and all sorts. It's a stigma, and we need to break that barrier down. We need to educate people. Not everyone not everyone is the same. There's myths about personality disorder, that they're attention seekers and they just self-harm for the fun of it. People with personality disorder have been through a hell of a lot of pain. I've been through pain. I mean, I used to self-harm. I used to be a different person to the one I am now. And there should never be a hierarchy of, "Oh, well, you're not ill," or "You're not ill enough," and this is what the NHS, this is what the government is doing to people. They're creating deliberate divides, for access to services. As the NHS gets more and more privatised, the hierarchy is going to get stronger and stronger until it's fuck mental health, it's physical health only. It's coming to that. And I've been telling people ever since I started this channel, there won't be a mental health system in a few years. It's becoming almost impossible to get a mental health assessment. I mean, I've not asked for one. I don't need one. I had a friend that was raped in Leeds 3 years ago. I don't speak to that person now, but she had to wait, I think it was 7 months before she got proper counselling support. Now, 7 fucking months after you've been raped. It's beyond belief that this goes on. Even when people do end up in a hospital as well, it's very hit and miss, the treatment. I mean, I've never been in a nice mental hospital. I don't think they exist. It is a case of, draconian, you follow the rules or else, you get punished, you won't have your dinner. Sometimes that happens. Or, right, we're going to give you 6 weeks and then you get out. I'll say this. There was more compassion in prison than out here for mental health. And it wasn't much. When I was in prison, it was still shit. But out here, it's a case of, "Oh no, you don't look that ill, you seem to be eating okay, you seem to brush your hair, you're not that ill." But in prison, it was shit. I've done a video about prison, which I think is going to be up here. I'm not very good at video editing, so I'm sorry. But yeah, it was I wouldn't say it was an okay experience, but it was better. Because at least they actually had some concern. They actually said, do you know why you're struggling? They asked me questions, and I did have a little bit of counselling while I was in prison. It wasn't quick, but I did. I wasn't there for very long. But they recognised that I was struggling at least. They never once said to me, oh, you've got a personality disorder. A few of the other patients, when they heard that I did, started to say, but the professionals in there, not really. It does go on though, especially in the community mental health services. We need to recognise that trauma isn't something that goes away like that. We need to understand that unless people get the chance to actually improve and actually get given the right support and actually get given an environment, because we need to remember that it's a fact. Most people diagnosed with a personality disorder are women. So it's why trauma, rape, abuse, bad upbringings, struggling, that isn't a crime. It's not a crime to struggle, you know. I don't really have much to say apart from check the links out. This is what goes on. Sign the petition if you want it to stop, if you can. And thank you for listening. Sorry, it's been a bit of a ranting dark video, but this is what this is what this channel's all about. Mental health, raising awareness of it. If you are on Facebook and you would like to join a supportive, and they are supportive, because I do vet each person that goes in. If you want to join a supportive community of people that all have got links to the mental health system, that probably let down themselves, join Fighting for Better Mental Health Services in the UK on Facebook. I vet everyone, and it's an okay group. If you have any questions, if you have anything you'd like me to talk about in the upcoming videos, it could be about coping with depression, it could be coping with a loss, it could be what actually does a mental health place look like, what does a mental health hospital, what does it do, ask me anything and I will answer it, because this channel is about you as well. I want to help you guys. But anyway, yeah, it's been Michelle Therese. Thank you very much for listening. It means a lot to me. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss my next one. And have a brilliant day. Alright, bye for now.